All right, what are we going to now? Brendan Schaub?
Yeah, I got an Instagram. I got a Fighter and the Kid.
So we haven't checked in on Brendan Schaub in a while. Let's see
and
this
Golden
Instagram
Hour.
post first, and I'll explain to you why I sent it to you. But Brendan Schaub is he tried something out with a YouTube channel called, it was originally called Toontown when we covered it last, and then he changed it to Drive Fast All Gas. That doesn't feel like great branding, but I'm no. Hey, Brendan Schaub's more successful than me. I guess he knows better. So there's been this thing on the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. They've been following this diligently. Brendan Schaub tried to give away a truck. He's very into cars and these high-end vehicles. We saw him crash one of them. So he's very into them, and he's been giving away this truck. And I'll explain why the Fighter and the Kid subreddit and other Brendan Schaub detractors think that what we're watching is a scam, basically, as the result of this contest.
This is Will.
Will, what's up, brother? It's Brendan Schaub.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you this morning?
Doing good, doing good.
Where am I calling you at? Where are you located?
I'm here in Montrose, Colorado.
Montrose, Colorado. You're Colorado.
It feels like just two guys talking. Oh, Brendan Schaub's calling me. I'll just tell you exactly where I am. There's no way this is a scam or anything. I'll just give you all my information.
Yeah, nice little doxy docs in the morning.
I'm not excited. I'm not. It's just completely dead. Oh, hello, Brendan Schaub. Good to talk to you. For the first time ever.
Born and raised.
Born and raised, dude.
Yes, sir.
Well, you won the truck, man.
Dude, awesome.
It sounds like a guy who just won a... Nice. Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Good to talk to you, Brendan.
Now that'll be $10,000 for tax. Thank you. We'll need that by tomorrow.
This does not sound like a man who just won anything.
No.
For the shirts, but now I'm really excited.
Hell yeah, man. Tell me you're going to use this thing for what it was built for, man. Tell me you're going to take it out.
I mean,
yes.
There's so many trails around here, and, there's a lot of off-road series that I want to jump into,
Yes.
and yeah, I'm looking forward to
so
it.
excited.
I'm so excited. I'm pumped.
Well, brother, the team will be in contact. We'll figure out the logistics. We'll get the truck to you. We'll get you out here as well. And this is going to be fun, man. I can't thank you enough for participating, and couldn't have picked a better winner. It's insane you're in Colorado, man. It's awesome, brother. I'll be in touch.
Okay.
Later, man.
Bye.
So the reason I wanted to play that is I was patrolling the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. Shout out PF Chang's to the boys in there. But evidently they believe, and I don't know if this is true, they believe that Brendan Schaub gave the truck to this man because he's a friend of Brendan's. And the evidence for that is that the guy owns a high-end auto body shop in Colorado near the area that Brendan Schaub is from. Just the odds that this truck, I'm sure, thousands and thousands of people entered to win this thing. And it just goes to, what are the odds? A guy from the town over where Brendan Schaub was born.
Universe provides,
Oh
Mike.
my God.
Universe
He
provides.
can't, even if that's not what happened, it's amazing to watch Brendan. He can never get out of his own way where everything has that stink to it. If he tries to do a contest, it flops. No one's interested in it, and he has to end up giving it to a buddy of his. It's like I haven't been as interested in Brendan Schaub the last few months as I have been in prior years, but I do check in on that subreddit every once in a while. I root around with the homeless cats, and they're very persistent. And it seems like there's no shortage of Brendan Schaub content. So I don't know if have any more information on Will, the auto body shop owner who won that vehicle. I will say it was stupendous acting if it was an act. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. All right, Brendan. See you later. Oh, okay.
About as good as Brendan.
Sounds like a real fan. Sounds like a real a guy that won as a fan. Because if I don't know, Shane Gillis called me, I'd be like, "Hello, Shane. What's that? Okay, you're giving me a car. All right, whatever. Thanks, man."
Thanks, Shizzy. Yes.
So another post on there inspired me to go to see an episode of the Golden Hour. So we'll play this, and then I dug deeper into the latest episode of the Golden Hour, which it's bizarre to watch an environment where Chris D'Elia is the alpha. And Chris D'Elia might be the funniest of the group, as you'll see. But it's very interesting to me. But Brendan Schaub was very into Mexican Independence Day. I saw him mention it on 2 different podcasts that he does. Where he's like, hey, it's Mexican Independence Day, because his wife is Mexican. And of course, he is the gringo poppy. So he has real deep ties to the Mexican culture. And they're talking about Mexico and I guess Tijuana here. And then this is Brendan telling a story. I don't know why he does this, but it can't be true, right? I don't know. You guys listen and tell me.
No? Okay, good.
I drove to Tijuana for car parts,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's dicey as fuck.
Yeah, I've been to Tijuana.
That's all you don't have anything to worry about. Oh, really?
Crazy.
I off-road in the Baja 500 this past year. There was 3 dead guys on the course.
Come on.
And they're like, oh, that's strange. They kept going. They put 3 more dead guys on the course. And then finally a local's like, hey, dumbass, this is cartel territory.
Whoa.
This is them warning you, like, don't come through here. So they had to reroute everything and go around the mountain.
Oh, God, dude. Dealing with dude, here's...
D'Elia doesn't
Good
push.
point.
D'Elia doesn't ask any
Cartel
questions
must
about
be
that.
So annoying.
No, he said they're annoying. Cartels are so annoying.
Well, that's a good point, Chris. They definitely are. They're a real pain in the keister. You're right about that. But there's no pushback from anyone where they're like, I'm sorry. You were driving around the track and there's 3 dead bodies. And then that didn't alarm you at all. You're like, that's a roadkill. That's odd. And so the cartel says, all right, gang, he's not particularly scared. Let's drag 3 more carcasses out here. What does he mean they brought 3 more dead bodies out? They're like, this is my problem with Brendan is he tells stories in a way that can't be true. Even as a guy that tries to defend him, it's like, well, you're telling it in a way. If it is true, you're telling it in a way that no one could believe it, Brendan. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like a Monty Python sketch he's describing there. Bring out the dead.
All right, 3 bodies didn't scare this guy. We got a real tough guy on our hands.
I think it was more like 3 bodies didn't impress Chris D'Elia, so he added 3 more to the story. You know what I'm saying?
It's also interesting to watch, like, just 3 guys that are there to satiate their own egos, basically. Like, where I don't think they're listening to each other. Like, D'Elia just says, oh, man, the cartel's so annoying, bro, and just moves on to his own thing. Where it's like, it's just 3 guys talking at each other, I think. You know, and that's what's fascinating about the Golden Hour podcast, because, again, it gives Chris D'Elia, and we talked about this with D'Elia's solo show, it gives D'Elia an outlet to actually look coherent and almost funny, because he gets to be funnier than Brendan Schaub and smarter than Brendan and just be like, oh, you're the moron, which is both entertaining and frustrating to me because I know Chris D'Elia is a piece of shit. Well, I shouldn't say I know him. I don't know the man. Just from observing his podcast, he seems to me like a piece of shit. And he gets to go on here and just use Brendan as a punching bag when it's like, well, I don't know how much better you are, Chris.
Yeah, but that's obviously why Brendan's there. Like, Chris is looking at this like, he's my rope back to freedom. You know, I'll just climb this guy up.
I guess so, yeah. Or it's the only safety net that Chris had. Is like, this is the only guy that'll do a show with me at this point.
Yeah. That and Stuttering John. Come over here, Chris. That would be amazing.
But it is, if you're wondering who the third person is, it's Erik Griffin, another comedian that I know Red Bar has had a lot of fun with. So I don't know much about Erik Griffin or his comedy history, really, but I know he was a target of Red Bars for a while also. So all 3 of these guys have really reached lol cow heights in their own right. But let's get a little more into the Golden Hour, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's just do one real quick super chat here because it's red, and I like that. DJ Electrify, you there? You around?
Yep.
There you go.
Dr. Hamad for SAR 50. Saudi Arabian money. Let's hit the goal.
Yes. It's $13.32 American. Just did the transfer.
Thank you, Saudi Arabia. We appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yes. We might have to return that money soon. Don't thank him too much, Mike. All right. This one's called What's the Deal with Names?
This is like one of their classic riffs. This, I think, is the height of comedy that you will get on this podcast. And it's really D'Elia at his finest. That's what we know and love Chris for.
Right, here it goes.
I want to live there.
People getting shot in Tulum. No, you don't.
I know. I'm kidding, bro.
Oh, okay.
I want to live where I live.
Mexico's a great vacation. The resorts, it's nice.
It's all right.
I just think it's like if you want to go to listen. Here's the thing: you say you want to go to Bora Bora, okay?
Say it once, but yeah.
That's the name. It's
I know,
Bora
but if you just
Say
said Bora,
Bora,
we'd
we
be like, all
get
right.
it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make me say your fucking city twice, dude.
Bora. It's Bora Bora.
Bro,
I went to
I know what you're
Colorado,
talking about. You said
Colorado.
Bora Bora is dumb. Why? Some guy had a stutter when he named it.
Well, flights out of Los Angeles.
Boy, it's just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
watching Letterman in his prime, huh? What offbeat commentary that is.
This is like Spinal Tap when the cameras weren't on.
It's just
genius.
as I always say with Dalia, the best word to describe him is just exhausting. Like, the place is called Bora Bora. Can we move on? Do we need to do 20 minutes on this? But here we go. We continue.
I mean, that's clearly a New York bit he just reworked for Bora Bora, right? Like, you can't have obviously missed the biggest city in America is also. Anyway, sorry.
They do a lot on this. They're like, later they bring it back and they're like, hey, there's also Walla Walla, Washington. Isn't that crazy? Like, who gives a fuck?
These podcasts are getting millions of views, right? Just checking.
Well, they're still. I like this had like tens of thousands. I mean,
Okay.
The days of the heights are, but they're still big podcasts. So yeah, your point is taken.
Yeah, you should be trouncing these tards.
Los Angeles.
Like, there's
This was called.
there were no jokes. He's like, well, what if it was like Los Angeles? It's like,
Yeah, no, that made me think for half a second. That's a joke, Mike.
it'd be fucking crazy. Imagine if the things that are named had different names. Wouldn't that be fucking wacky?
Chaos. It'd be chaos, Mike. I'm gonna laugh now. Ha, that was funny.
The one thing I will give Chris D'Elia is, like, when he's in that environment, like when Erik Griffin's pretending what he's saying is funny, it does sound less psychotic than the Congratulations podcast when Chris is just alone.
Yeah, why do you think I got Electra around? I sound way less psychotic when she's around. Thank you for that, DJ Electra. This one, next one is called More Name Talk. I wonder what this is about.
Oh, it's not over. If you thought fun with the name Bora Bora was classic hijinks, there's more in store.
This show's Bora Bora. Hey-o. Not ours.
Listen, we have like these kind of like
Thank you,
weird.
Nick.
We have like old school sort of normal names.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is that kind of like variation.
I'm on borderline like Elon Musk.
It should be Brandon.
Hold
Okay,
on, I'm sorry.
Just
In what way? In what way, possibly, is Brendan Schaub like Elon Musk?
2 syllables, 1 syllable. 2 syllables, 1 syllable. Thank you.
Oh, I guess that can't be what he meant, is it?
That got to be what it is.
That's
it's not
brilliant.
letters.
If you stumbled upon that, how is the name Brendan Schaub like Elon Musk? You might be right. Is that what he meant?
I'm Brendan Schaub level smart. That is not brilliant.
That's astonishing. If you got
the
inside that mind, very nice.
By the way, Casey Day, 2 and 1. Me too. I'm like Elon Musk.
But Brendan, first of all, I wouldn't say Brendan is like a classic name. There were no President Brendans, I don't think.
It was in the Bible. Brendan helped Jesus.
So I don't know if it's like a classic name, but how Elon? What was he talking about? Elon's not a particularly normal name, is it?
I've never heard it before, and I've never heard it since.
I don't know a ton of Elons other than Musk. What does he mean? I want to spend 40 more minutes on this, but I know we can't.
Let's break it up. Get out the whiteboard. Let's just break it down.
is that kind of like variation.
I'm on borderline like Elon Musk.
It should be Brandon. Okay, just
Oh, even your name, his name. Yeah, you're saying.
His
Yeah.
name is like okay.
Right.
Yours is Eric with a K.
I mean, what's the deal? What are these names? Brandon? Why can't they just make it one? What the fuck are they talking about? They do know this show is nothing. They just come in and they're like, what are names, man? Like, what even are the cities have names? Fucking people have names. Like, what is this even?
Nouns, am I right?
Brandon, Bora Bora. What are words, man?
That frustrates me.
Mine's the. I don't know if you think that
Hold on, can you go back a little bit?
feels.
Yeah.
What in tarnation is Eric laughing at? What in God's name? That was a powerful laugh. Let me hear this again.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying,
His
yeah.
name is like okay.
Right.
Yours is Eric with a K. That frustrates me.
Mine's the. I don't know if
Powerful
you
laugh.
think that.
It's at most mildly amusing by Brendan. I'm not saying it was a terrible line or anything, but that is. Oh, you just hit me in the gut, Brendan. With that, it's all like fake horse shit where they're like, guys, we are best friends and we're all having a great time.
That it feels weird for a word to end on a C, though. To me,
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
You put everyone else spells their name Eric.
well, no,
with a C.
I know people with Eric with a K.
No, it's not. Fuck every Boston Celtic. See? Easy.
Yeah.
How many others?
The Dutch way, man.
Yeah, it's Dutch, bro.
Vikings.
It's Dutch.
Vikings, baby.
Obviously, look at him, dude. He's a Viking.
Oh,
Damn right.
that
Imagine
makes
him
sense.
imagine him on the front of a ship.
That makes sense.
Just fucking.
I'd be driving.
Yeah.
You know, with the things.
Eric.
No, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
So, like, the names now, like, even our kids' names.
These are guys that have known each other for years. And their show is like, let's go in and like, man, fucking your name is crazy, brother. Eric, but it's spelled kind of weird. And Brendan, that's not Brandon. Don't get me started on the ways we can spell Chris. I mean, that's zany stuff. What the fuck are they doing? Like, what is the preparation for this show? This feels, if you're a fan of this show, God bless you. Let me know. Maybe I'm missing something with it. But it feels like what they're saying is, we want to use you people for views. And if you subscribe to our Patreon, we want to steal money from you. We will put no work into this show. We'll just pour whatever horse shit comes into our minds, pour it out of our mouths. And then we go home after an hour. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, Lady K had this saying that I wear like a tattoo. If your show sounds like a Zoom call, it's not a show. And this, like, they're famous people and the lighting's good and it looks great, but the discussion is a Zoom call. Like, this is what your parents talk about when you go to, like, this is not a show.
And
I've had more interesting Zoom calls than this. I mean, come on.
There are shows that are just like show up, bust each other's balls, like the Regs with Soder, Joe List, Luis Gomez, and Bob Kelly. Luis J. Gomez, I apologize. And but those guys like have known each other forever, and it feels like even when they have nothing, it feels like you're in on the conversation. It's interesting to you. It's funny or it's insightful. Or there's something there. Whereas with these guys, they're like, man, cities are crazy, huh? I guess. What else do you have on that, Chris?
I also have never seen a lot. There's not that many good LA shows or comics. It's sad, you know. Like it's just sad. Like
the state of LA is really gone because, especially now with all the guys that have moved to Austin, it's like LA doesn't have a lot. Like, Andrew Santino's still there. I don't know much else, but
it's barren. The
Mass
closet's
exodus.
barren over here.
yeah.
If you look at the number,
it's so not that this.
No, if you look up the number one baby names of like 2023, there's some weird stuff on there.
Teabag and like,
Teabag.
No, I don't think so, Eric. I don't think. Listen, I know it's a wacky sounding name. Wouldn't that be zany if a kid was named Teabag? I don't believe it was the number one name in 2020. Eric, I know times have changed, and I know that has provided us a lot of hilarity. Joe Matarese pointed it out very well in his latest special. Boy, are times different than they used to be. I don't think Teabag is the number one name of last year. But the boys will tell us. I mean, listen to this list of wild names. First of all, this has never been done before. The names are different now. But once they read this list, we're going to go, wow, Eric was really onto something.
I love the Brendan's reading a book of names. Like, imagine you round the corner, you just see Brendan Schaub, and he's reading a book of names. It's just like a regular book.
This is like what Andy Kaufman would do this to be purposely annoying. Like, I'm just going to read a list of men's names.
Weird names.
Most popular baby names in 2023. It is weird that we just keep using
Olivia,
the same names
Noah,
over and over again.
Emma.
Oh my! Who's ever heard of those? Aren't human name, Brendan.
Look at him read it. Looks like it hurts his brain.
Oh,
It's
poor
from
Brendan.
my favorite book, bro. The baby name book, bro.
Amelia,
You know?
Oliver.
Oh, Brendan, these
Sophia.
aren't names. Someone obviously just fell on the keyboard. These aren't humans' names. Who's ever heard these before? Amelia, Noah, Emma, Olivia. I have family members with these names. It's not that crazy.
This show's reading the phone book.
Yes.
Like-
Yeah, exactly.
Elijah, a lot of Bible names. Charlotte.
A lot of Bible
British.
names. Asher.
Let's
Like
keep
why?
in mind, listen to the names they're reading. Charlotte, Noah. Eric's example of a popular name was Teabag. Are these on par with those? Charles. Wow, that's crazy.
Why do we keep? We should keep.
But there's no John in
There's
there.
no Joes. There's no
They
Joseph.
came pretty
There's-
fucking close, guys. You read the name Emma. These are pretty basic names.
Christopher.
Roberts.
Yeah.
There's no Brandons up there, you
Yeah.
know?
Aurora.
Yeah,
It's about Muhammad. Interesting. Harper. I like Harper.
Theo. Uh-oh.
Where's Theo?
Theo
Oh,
is
Theo,
number
remember
20.
the guy? Oh, Brendan, I'm sorry. You asked where Theo was? He left you years ago. He realized this ship was sinking and he got a life vest and swam to Tennessee.
He's
I
in a
knew this
mansion
guy
with a
named
bunch of
Theo.
ladies.
The number 20 name.
How about how like in you know
By
in
the
like
way,
like
in a discussion of like these new age hipster names, Theodore is on the list. This is Eric's example again was Teabag. They're like, oh man, the names in 2023, I can't even fucking pronounce them. You know, Theodore, Olivia.
now when you look back on history, it's like Grover and Harold and like
all those names.
Henry, and now it's gonna be like look at the pictures. There's Asher. He's gonna be like a fucking cabinet member, Asher Dudical,
Yeah, that's
and
what
it's
I'm
just
saying.
like
It's
oh
weird.
man.
Hold on. Why would the last name get so zany? Last names are around for generations, Chris. Why is someone in the future all of a sudden going to be named Dudical when their grandfather was Smith?
Well, I can tell you why, because that kid is changing his name as soon as he legally can from fucking this guy. That ain't my dad.
You don't think they want the D'Elia lineage? Dudical is better.
He's already given his kids future names because he knows that they're shame of him.
Bizarre
Yeah.
instinct to be like, hey, we used to have names like Grover, but now we have names like Asher. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
No.
You should have seen what my dad did and what his name was. I had to change my name to D'Elia. So this is like a pattern in their family, just a bunch of people changing their names.
Asher is someone who got pregnant in college.
Oh yeah.
Because Asher Roth, I love.
How does it take three people to produce this show?
Yeah,
What
I'm
is going on?
glad. I'm glad the producer chimed in to show we haven't found the floor yet. If you thought Brendan, Eric, and Chris were bad at this, thank God a fourth voice is there.
There is three producers here, and they could not be more stereotypical.
I think there's 4. It's just hard to see. He's in the back.
Asher, you know what's crazy about the name Asher is there was a guy who had a song once named Asher. Excellent contribution. Thank you.
Quick, 2 of you get the phone book ready. 2 of you do something else.
It's just, it's like it's the verbal equivalent of ink blots. Like D'Elia said the name Asher, and this guy's like Asher Roth. Oh yes, that is a name.
I love college.
Yeah.
Because the timeline works out.
There's-
Oh, I see.
Interesting.
Yeah, I see.
You see what? What do you see? That a guy was named Asher? What are you impressed with, Chris?
They see paychecks every Friday for this dumbass easy job. That's what they see,
Yeah,
Mike.
they'll get 40,000 views on fucking YouTube, and we'll sell ads for it, and it'll be good. Let's just talk about names for 20 minutes.
Why are we working so hard? Fucking A.
I do.
This is an endless clip, by the way. It's how long is this?
Well, another 3 minutes on the total clips.
Okay, well, we'll find
But
out.
yeah, this was the long.
I thought the names would be crazier. Those are pretty safe.
Thank you, Brendan. Finally, some sanity. Jesus. Thank you, Brendan.
Get back in the
Stick-
tanning bed, Brendan.
They're going off like it's this crazy bit they had. Like, look at this. Amelia is a name. Can you guys believe that? And Brendan finally, at long last, is like, guys, I don't think this bit is panning out. We haven't found a single unique name.
We're gonna need to hire 2 more producers. Stat. This next one's called Elon.
Oh, so Elon was mentioned, and he comes back. They talk for a while about Elon. Again, this show has like no focus. If you ask them what's the point of the show, I don't think they'd be able to answer, because what they do is they talk about names for an ungodly amount of time, and then they're like, man, Elon Musk, he has a lot of money, huh? And it's like, well, what? Cover some ground that hasn't been. They don't even get. They do get into real news 45 minutes in, but like for the first 40 minutes or so, it's just mindless horse shit that anyone could come up with. It's very weird.
Weird ones.
Sorry, hold on. Elon Musk has 13 kids?
Yeah, man.
He does?
Yeah.
He plays for the NBA?
Wow.
He is African.
That was like the most subtle racist thing to say.
And you
I
know
don't know if it
what?
was particularly subtle, Eric. I got to be honest with you. Like, it might have almost nicked the top of your head, but we caught it.
Also, the Jets would have been a better joke. Like the NBA, Sean Kemp, but the Jets had
Antonio
a lot more people.
Cromartie, yes.
Yeah, Cromartie is that's the child guy. He had 3 in the same year. Didn't know their names. Amazing.
I think Chris was just making a blanket statement about black people in general. I don't think it mattered.
No, yes.
Deep, I stand on it.
He had a whole thing with his like whatever daughter, or son, whatever he is.
You can't try and make the world a better place and be a good dad. You can't get to you can't build a ship to go to Mars. And
Also,
be a
it
good
can't
dad.
be a good warlord without being a good with being a good dad. You can't.
Say Saddam Hussein, great dad.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No. You're too busy
He had all
chopping
girls.
heads off.
Well,
These are really insightful thoughts that powerful people can't be good parents. This is ground. They've got their machetes out as they cover ground that no one has dared walk into before.
And making rules.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Willy-nilly rules. Don't show your mouth. I'll kill everyone.
But you're like, if your dad's like, let's say your dad is the richest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at what point, like, at what age are you like, well, what am I doing? Like, what am I?
You ever seen the
What am I
suicide?
gonna go
You ever
do?
seen the statistics on suicide if your dad's a billionaire?
I look them up every
You're
day.
like 400% more likely to commit suicide.
I look them up every
That's
day.
only because your dad's a dick.
No,
It's
'cause you
like,
have- no,
you have
you-
to work. I'm not going to give you any money.
You have no drive. Like you wake up and you're like, I guess I'll go to college.
I
How
gotta
much?
say, hold on one second. I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase anecdotal, but I can't imagine. Maybe the children of billionaires are 400% more likely to kill themselves. It's a much smaller sample size. One suicide could skew the numbers tremendously.
How much am I gonna
Where's
make?
Brendan getting that?
Brendan math. That's Brendan math. This next one's called Oracle of Norfolk.
Norfolk. No, I believe it's supposed to be, yeah. But tell me, well, we'll hear. Tell me if you know who Erik Griffin is talking about here, because you pick up on it pretty quickly. He's the last one to know exactly who he's talking about, I think.
I only know one Oracle, and he's made me a very happy man. If it's the same man.
I believe it is.
Ah, yes.
We're joke.
Doing it for him.
It's a typo.
People, I write it as he sends it.
We don't need to spend 40 minutes on it. It's a typo. It was a clear accident.
Do it.
Let's move on.
I want to move to North.
Johnny Carson from. I did a show there because what's his name? One of the richest guys in the world, the electricity guy, is from this town.
Mm-hmm.
And people, he's like cheap. Everybody knows where he lives.
Electro?
Yeah, it's in
Iowa?
Iowa. It's in Iowa. Yeah, Norfolk or whatever.
Although
they have a
born in
Johnny
Iowa,
Carson
Johnny moved to
museum there
Norfolk.
too. But anyway, what's the guy? Warren Buffett.
He's like, he got everything about that wrong. He brings up Johnny Carson, who's from Nebraska, where Warren Buffett is from, and he's like, it's Iowa, it's Norfolk. What do we? You guys know? Come on, they call him the something of Norfolk. Who is that guy? Yes, of course, Warren Buffett, Iowa's finest.
And of course, everyone knows he's the Oracle of Omaha, so not even on that list. That option wasn't not even on the table.
I don't even know if there is a Norfolk. What did he say? Iowa? I don't know if that exists.
That's hilarious. This one's called Cheap.
Yeah, so we're talking more about Warren Buffett, and listen to how they summarize, like you know a fair deal about Warren Buffett, Casey Day.
Yeah, read the minutes every year.
I think the advice that he gives to people about not buying a fancy car and stuff like that, to me that seems strategic. But these meatheads are able to summarize it in a way I hadn't thought of before.
There is a Norfolk
Yeah,
Creek,
Warren Buffett.
Iowa.
What?
Norfolk Creek, Iowa.
Well, Warren Buffett must vacation there then. I'm sure that's what
Maybe
Eric
so.
meant.
Like, it's crazy how everybody in the town's like, oh yeah, Warren lives.
Right.
You know, he lives down the block. Sometimes you see him driving his Toyota Corolla.
Bro, I hate
I
that he
don't
drives
like that shit.
I
Yeah, I
hate
don't
that he
like that
drives that
shit.
shit. Get a helicopter and get a fucking Lamborghini and get a fucking get all of the cars.
Yeah, who you doing it for?
Dude, what are you doing?
Who's it for?
Hey,
Retards try and analyze a billionaire. That's the whole point. It's the antithesis of what you guys are describing.
Yeah,
You know what you should? You know who had it right is MC Hammer. He really handled his finances well. Wesley Snipes. These guys, they knew how to handle a dollar.
Get a Lamborghini. This guy's having a midlife crisis right in the middle of that fantasy. He's like, get all the red cars and all the coke and all the young girls. I'm old. I'm dying. Like, calm down.
They're gonna summarize Warren Buffett in a way that doesn't even make sense. And again, this is like what this show is. It's just like they hear a name, like someone mentioned Elon Musk, and they're like, "Who's another billionaire? Let's go. Let's say all the Warren Buffett things we know."
Yeah. And by the way, folks, he's sitting on $330 billion cash. Learn where he's from, asshole.
Well, it's because he's cheap, though, as we're about to find out.
The Toyota. Saving on the Toyota got him that money. Yeah.
Sometimes
Act the part. You're rich.
Sometimes the people are just cheap, dude. It is what it is.
But
when you're that,
beyond
when you have
Dude,
billions,
cheap is getting a Urus. Cheap is the guy is fucking $9 trillion. It's cheap to get any car. I'm cheap.
Yeah.
I'll get the Phantom.
But they said, like, there's stories about LeBron James, like he won't pay for like Spotify Premium. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Well, I
there's a
guess,
level of cheapness that people have in their head.
Yeah, you can never like.
What is wrong with these guys?
I don't
Cheapness would imply like they're penny pinching, like they're trying to save every dollar. No, LeBron probably doesn't use Spotify often enough to pay for it. So it's some dumb clickbait story that who would possibly give a fuck about. And Warren Buffett's logic is like, you don't need a Lamborghini. It's a useless thing. I get around in a Toyota Corolla or whatever the fuck he drives because it gets me from point A to point B. That's the whole point. And these guys are going, no, actually, you know what would be smarter is to just piss away your money.
Go.
I'm cheap like.
This next one's called Hard of Hearing, Mike.
Okay.
Your parents are hard of hearing though, yeah?
My dad has tinnitus. Yeah, that tinnitus thing. That like
Tendinitis.
No, it's tinnitus. Okay.
Is Brendan joking?
No.
Is he kidding there?
I
No.
would say no. We're gonna go back and watch the tape now that we're all. watching.
Your parents are hard of hearing though, yeah?
my dad has tinnitus. Yeah, that tinnitus thing. That like
Tendinitis.
No, he is not fucking joking.
Yeah, he's like, I'll correct both of you idiots. It's tendinitis.
That is hilarious.
Brendan's an athlete. I guess he hasn't dealt with tendinitis yet necessarily. That's more in older people, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
maybe
Well,
he's he would know what it is, though, right?
well, I think he
Yes,
knows
he
what it
should.
is, and he's just he thinks that they're confused, pointing to their head. He's
Yeah.
like, no, it's in your arm. and your
Out of the
leg."
way, idiots. You're thinking of tendinitis.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'll set the
Correcting
record
me.
straight. It is tinnitus. Okay, just setting it straight.
It's the worst when you correct someone and then you're wrong about that. So I've been there.
Oh, of course. But at a certain point, it's like, is Brendan in on the joke? Like, is that a joke or is he really doing that? Because, like, if Brendan is that guy, he could have played his career in a way where he's beloved.
Mhm.
I think the
Yeah.
problem is that he just gets mad when I think Brendan thinks he's a lot smarter than he is. But if he was just a fighter that became a comic, that is a guy who thinks a hearing issue is called tendinitis. Like, if he billed himself as that guy his whole career, I think Brendan would be beloved. Like, look at a lot of comics who are actually smarter than they are and kind of play idiots. Like, people love them. Like, Theo Vaughn's a great example. I think Theo's probably smarter than he comes off, but you listen to him with Trump and he's just a lovable nitwit. You're like, this guy's fucking amazing.
Mhm.
Brendan can't do that because Brendan would try, if he had Trump on, would try and have like an intellectual conversation with Trump and match wits with him and talk about politics and policy and things of that nature. Brendan would try and pass legislation. with Donald Trump. Whereas he's a guy who thinks, let's hear it one more time. He's a guy that thinks it's tendinitis, you know?
Your parents are hard of hearing though, yeah?
My dad has tinnitus. Yeah, that tinnitus thing. That
Tinnitus.
Tendinitis.
like. Is it tinnitus or is it tinnitus?
Like, that's who Brendan is. And if he embraced that his whole career, I think things could have gone a lot differently. I mean, the toothpaste is out of the tube now, as they say. Like, Brendan is who he is. He has his reputation. People are never going to change their minds on him. But, like, that guy that we just heard could have played that character much better than he has, I think, you know? Like, he could have been a guy we laugh with instead of laugh at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that the comparison is apt to, like, when everyone first got to Stuttering John, and it was like, man, if this guy just made a few changes, he's leaving them up. So I guess what you're saying is both these guys with just an attitude adjustment could just, like, open their bank accounts, but they can't get over the pride to do it.
Well, John on Howard's show is what I'm talking about, where it's like, hey, you call him an idiot. He comes in, he shows balls, he interviews he interviews famous people and says things that you're not supposed to say, and people love this guy. And then he comes in and Howard goofs on him and says he can't do anything right and he's just a call screener. And we go, hey, don't talk about John like that. We like him. But then when John gets an ego, we're all like, oh, I don't care for this.
Yeah.
And that's what Brendan did when he started suing YouTubers and trying to get things taken down. Like, what they should do is embrace this. This is what I tried to get across to Tom Myers, is like, be who you are and let people goof on you more. So I like, it almost pains me to see that clip where it's like, oh, he could have been that guy. Like, that's fun to be the guy that says tendinitis when no one's anywhere close to talking about that.
And it's so little work for him. Just be yourself.
Right.
That's the thing. You don't even got to worry about it. This one's called Making It Racial. You didn't put an end time to this, so I kind of guessed where you, but if you wanted to stop short,
okay,
just let me know.
Good call. Yeah.
But it's called Making It Racial. They get weird here.
Stringtrade.com/golden hour. Enjoy the coffee.
Oh, your anger management.
Yeah.
Anger management.
Yeah.
Rachel says to me, your anger management. Like,
Yeah.
Listen, we're in the car. You want you? I just want my wife to commiserate.
I think I probably fucked this timestamp up. We can skip to
Okay.
Is this the last one?
Yeah, there's only like 30 seconds more in it.
Yeah. I think we just fucked it up. But I'll explain what happened. Is they talk about Tyreek Hill, and that, like, Erik Griffin goes, well, with the Tyreek Hill thing, like, there's a lot of examples of white people doing a lot more than that and getting away with it. And Brendan Schaub goes, yeah, but statistically, like, white people get shot by the cops more than black people. And Erik goes, Brendan, you're the one making this racial. It's the craziest moment because I was like, Brendan didn't do anything wrong here. What is wrong with you? But that's
they kind of
the end
toss
with
him
the dud
around
there on Golden Hour.
Yeah, I actually like that show. I'd probably watch it now that I know that they just kind of toss him around like an idiot on that show. It might be fun.
That's what's interesting. Like, is they framed it that way all along. Like, if Brendan was with guys that could kind of bully him, for lack of a better term, and Brendan was cool with it, I do think he'd be like a beloved figure. He'd be a lovable moron, and we'd be like, "Hey, bro, what do you?" Then you're more likely to get other gigs, like these gigs that Brendan wants to do for UFC and stuff like that. Because that's what I've known to do. Is like, I go on Kirk Minahan's show, and I'm the moron there that you can goof on, and then I come here and I goof on Craig. You know, shit runs downhill, as they say.
Yes, Electra gets it from me, and she gives it to the other poker people she plays with.
So on and so forth.
Yes. We got one super chat here from you that is going to be funny to hear Electra read. Read this, every word, go.
Okay, bloated fagot, $1.99. Huge Daylord here.